know it's not an emergency, or I know it's just something I can read and say, okay, thank you. So in my voicemails, siempre cuando dejo voicemails, I'll say, please, por favor, siéntese libre nomás mandarme un texto sabiendo que you got the message, you know. A lot of our families are more comfortable with texting than, you know, calling, or they just aren't in a situation where they can, and we all know what that's like. So,
and I think a lot of us are in a situation where, like, I'm more comfortable texting because I'm not always in a situation where I could pick up my phone. Mm-hmm. I would say like a 96% success rate in communicating with parents via text. So, cuando yo le mando textos a los padres, casi siempre responden, pero that's a lot of, I mean, it's way more effort and it's way more time invested in it, because when you send a text, you have to be there to respond. I can't send a text, put my phone down and walk away, right? Or if I call a parent, si mando un texto o si dejo un mensaje, tengo que estar disponible por lo menos una hora después que dejo eso. Y si no, y responden, they're done with me.
Yeah.
They're not calling me back. Mm-hmm. So it's a little bit more effort, but it's a little bit more energy. But I find that I connect with parents and the school community way more successfully with spoken texting.
Eva, so part of the things that are concerning our community is food distribution. Así que tenemos estudiantes que no tienen acceso a la comida, o que sí tienen acceso a la comida en la casa, pero yo sé que el distrito está tratando de dar comida a los estudiantes. ¿Qué tipo de información tienes para los padres? ¿Qué tipo de consejo tienen para los padres para que ellos tengan acceso a esos recursos que el distrito está mandando?
A mí me han mandado varios mensajes y me dicen, ¿pero puedo ir a la escuela? ¿Va a haber mucha gente? ¿Va a estar la policía? ¿Va a estar la inmigración? ¿Tengo miedo a salir de mi casa? ¿Puedo salir o no puedo salir? So a lot of my parents are like, can we leave our house? Because everybody's saying, stay home, stay home. If I go out there, will there be crowds? Is it going to be controlled? Who's making the food? Is the police going to be there? Is immigration going to be there? Is ICE going to be there? And so I try to calm their nerves and say, because I know that the health department has such stringent oversight of food, especially during the school year, that now I feel the safest place to get food is in a school. Mm. So it's controlled and it's safe. And then I really encourage the parents. A veces me dicen, pero tienen tortillas. Y les digo, no. And my parents would be like, hey, do they have Mexican food? Do they have tortillas? Do they have tacos? And I get it, because I like to eat what I like to eat, and you like to eat what you like to eat. And then I tell them, get what's free. If it's free now and it's being offered to you, take it, grab it, eat it for now. It's a time of sacrifice, and save what you have. Les digo a los padres, si es gratis, llévatelo, tómatelo, porque así puedes ahorrar lo que ya tienes. And the thing is, if our families don't take advantage of this resource, then it will be considered non-essential, and then it will stop. And so we're just in the first couple of weeks of the food distribution, and none of us really know how long this will go in. And I think we're just all still getting used to it. There is a crisis, but I don't know if we're in full crisis mode. So maybe in a month, when food starts running out, I mean, will the program still be there? I hope so, but it's hard to continue funneling resources into a program that the community may or may not be taking advantage of. I have not been to the schools, but you know, the talk around the parents and what I've heard is that there is no mad rush getting to the schools for food, and not just CPS, but in community centers, because there's not big crowds. Pero sí les sugiero y les digo, aprovechen de lo que está, lo que hay ahora, porque no sabemos lo que va a estar pasando en un mes, en 2 meses, en el verano.
Sí, es una buena recomendación, Eva, porque uno puede ahorrar la comida ahorita, uno puede tomarse esa comida y llevarse a la casa y después ponerla en el refrigerador, donde sea, para guardarla por a lo mejor que haya un tiempo aquí en el futuro, que a lo mejor no tenemos acceso a la comida tan fácil. Así que yo creo que es un buen consejo para las familias. Muchas gracias por eso, Eva. ¿Qué otros tipos de recursos está dando el distrito a los padres y a los estudiantes, particularmente a las familias que solo hablan español o que no se pueden comunicar muy bien en inglés?
That's an interesting question. Susana?
You know, this is a big reason why we say representation matters, right? And no es que todos los latinos hablen español, pero los que sabemos español y los que somos bilingües somos un buen recurso para las escuelas y para la comunidad, como Eva, como yo, you know, como otras maestras que hablan 2 idiomas y no nomás español, because we have kids in our districts that talk 15, 20 different languages. So, you know, give us an extra hug next time you see us when we can hug each other again, because you know, we are trying as hard as we can, especially teachers, people who have their boots on the ground, to get a hold of families in Espanol, en Somali, and Burmese. Lo que les sugiero yo a los padres ahorita que hablan solamente español y no hablan inglés, primeramente yo soy un recurso. Eva, yo sé también otro recurso. Edgar también. Si hay información que nosotros tenemos que usted necesita, obviamente estamos muy contentos por darle esa información, pero más que eso, su escuela y su distrito es un servicio para usted. Y so, debe de haber alguien en su distrito. En KCPS hay, for sure, alguien que, you know, está ahí para servirle a usted. So, I would sugerir a las familias que no hablan inglés a buscar esos recursos, y si es algo que nosotros necesitamos ayudarle con eso, estamos contentos de hacer eso.
Y a veces yo encuentro que en nuestras familias se le hace un poco difícil pedir ayuda. Like, so our families sometimes, and a lot of our families, so I work with a lot of the Latino families, and they have a hard time asking for help because they're like, I can do this on my own. I don't need anybody. I don't need to ask for help, because it almost seems like a little bit, I don't know, embarrassing, because I can't hold my own. So encuentro a veces que las familias en nuestra comunidad está como no tan disponible para pedir ayuda, porque quieren hacer eso yo mismo, yo puedo con mi familia. Pero esto es un tiempo difícil y un tiempo bien diferente, yo creo, en la historia del mundo, ¿verdad? Que todos necesitamos ayuda. Yo necesito ayuda. Todos necesitamos. And I really encourage all the families, all of our school district families, if you can get your hands on free stuff, get that free stuff. Just get it. It's there. Because if you're not grabbing it, it just might sit there. So les sugiero y les digo que si ustedes pueden aprovechar de nuestros recursos que están de gratis, aprovecha. Ahorra lo que tienes. Save what you have, okay? And hopefully, you know, everything will go back to normal in a couple of months, tú sabes, pero the resources are there for our families and our school community. Los recursos están ahí para ustedes, para la comunidad escolar, y esperamos que ustedes se aprovechan de eso.
Eva, I want to go back a little bit just to the beginning, just in case we didn't capture some of the information that you shared with us around communicating with parents. You were mentioning again that you've had a lot of success communicating with parents through Facebook and through text. And so I want to make sure that we capture that as we're recording and we're keeping this information for everybody to use long term. Así que tú dijiste que era más fácil comunicarse con los padres del distrito escolar de Kansas City sobre Facebook, sobre Face y sobre texto. ¿Has encontrado otras maneras de comunicarse con padres que son efectivas o no?
Sí, llamadas y face to face hablando con los padres, pero el face es la mejor manera que yo he encontrado comunicarme con los padres. Yo pienso, yo no puedo, quizás uno o dos padres que yo conozco, latinos, no están en Facebook. Y a veces no tanto, yo pienso que muchos distritos que no tienen mucha representación latino, ¿verdad? No es que no entienden, es que hay tantos estudiantes, ¿verdad? Y hay tantas comunicaciones que no entienden que, y lo digo en inglés y después lo digo en español, we need to meet them where they are. Necesitamos comunicar con ellos donde están ellos, no donde estamos nosotros. So, en muchas comunidades, correo electrónico, fabuloso. En la comunidad latina, correo electrónico, no tanto fabuloso. A veces sí, a veces no. Pero yo sí tengo mucha confianza. Si me estoy comunicando con un padre en Facebook, van a responder. Muy pocas veces no responden. Si me voy a comunicar con padres en texto, me responden casi siempre. Pero también les digo que eso es una forma de comunicación que se necesita más esfuerzo, más energía, más recursos, y es un poco más lento, porque con un correo electrónico uno puede comunicarse con 10,000 personas en un minuto. Para yo comunicarme con diferentes padres, me tardo media hora hablando con 10. So it's grassroots, and it's very organic, and it's very intentional, and it's also very taxing on your emotions, and it's very taxing on your mental health, because you have to be there for the parents that you say you're going to be there for. So hablando, si yo puedo mandar un correo electrónico y me puedo comunicar con 1,000 personas, 10,000 personas, pero es más difícil porque cuando estoy hablando con Facebook tengo que estar hablando directamente con una persona y respondiendo, igualmente con texto, right? So I have to put the number in. Yo no hago de vez en cuando hacía clases de inglés, mandaba un texto a 20 y no me daban responder. Pero si le mando un texto, yo y una madre, yo y un padre, yo y un estudiante, inmediatamente responden.
Sí. Y muchas gracias por esa información. Thank you so much for that information. I see that we have some friends that have joined us. We have Betsaida out there, Trisha, Maria. So glad to see you in our Zoom, and hopefully you're getting some information. I also just love to open it up to you three to see if you have any questions or have any information that you would like to ask Eva.
Hola, Maria. Hi, Trisha.
Hola.
Hola.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
And
Well,
yeah,
Maria
go ahead, Maria.
Franco Maria has been so instrumental in communicating in KCPS. Maria is with the Hispanic Development Fund, and she is in our schools, and she is just another one of our great resources where you're creating relationships with students. If the students trust you, and the parents will trust you. And so Maria has been great. Thank you, Maria. It's been awesome.
Thank you, Maria, for that. Eva, I wanted to comment on something you mentioned. First I'm gonna ask you a question because I'm thinking about the teachers maybe in my sphere right now, and I think most of us would be apprehensive about messaging a parent on Facebook because we'd feel like, are we crossing that boundary of this imaginary boundary, because we should be that kind of community, right? But help us like alleviate our nerves and just kind of take that leap in order to get that access. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do. I do not have those reservations, and I'm also in a very position with the district. But I do know teachers who have a separate Facebook account, and that's also a lot of work, but they'll have like, it'll be like you have your personal Facebook account, and then it'll be like Susana la Maestra. And then they communicate with parents that way. And I think we've crossed the threshold of, I mean, I know that it's what you're comfortable with, okay? But we're in a crisis. Our kids need to learn, and our kids need to stay connected, and they need to feel like we are supporting them, and everybody is in their own little bubble. And I know, yo entiendo que a veces muchas maestras no están muy cómodas compartiendo sus redes sociales con estudiantes y padres. I am not one of those people. I have about 18 different ways that people can get in touch with me. Again, pero yo estoy en una situación bien específica donde yo puedo hacer esas comunicaciones. I think all teachers want to be able to communicate with families, and I think that there is a barrier. But I think that we need to move beyond email and flyers. We need to move beyond throwing out something on social media, hoping they'll see it. I don't hope my communication gets there. I make sure it does, and then I follow up. Again, it's a lot of work and it's a lot of effort on my part, but I think that this more kind of organic, direct, face-to-face, personal communication works better. And I'm not a classroom teacher, so I'm not a high school teacher where I don't have 100 kids. Yo no estoy en un salón todo el día como muchos maestros, y yo sé que yo no puedo estar, yo digo, yo me puedo comunicar con muchos estudiantes, pero yo sé que muchos maestros que tienen tantos y tantos y tantos padres y estudiantes no pueden estar comunicándose con todos, pero sí sé y tengo mucha fe que hay una forma donde podemos encontrar un balance, donde los maestros y los padres sí se pueden comunicar.
Eva, muchas gracias por eso. Betsaida tiene un comentario. Con el distrito escolar en el cual trabajo, establecieron límites de comunicación uno a uno, cara a cara con estudiantes, pues son menores de edad y cosas pueden pasar. Sin embargo, el curso tomará efecto a través de someter los trabajos a los estudiantes y de obtener sus trabajos realizados a través de email o Google Classroom. Así que hay muchos maestros que están tratando de navegar esos sistemas para comunicarse con estudiantes. Y claro, ahorita el CDC, el gobierno está recomendando que nosotros no nos encontremos cara a cara, pero sí, muchos buenos consejos a comunicarse con los estudiantes y con las familias. Tengo una pregunta sobre el temor que a lo mejor tienen unas familias que no tienen documentos o que son indocumentados. ¿Puedes comentar a eso? ¿Ellos tienen acceso a recursos también? O cuáles son las sugerencias que tienes para familias que a lo mejor tienen que navegar el sistema que nos encontramos un poco diferente?
Todos estudiantes en middle school and high school, la preparatoria, how do you say middle school?
Secundaria.
Secundaria.
O
Tienen-
intermedia.
Tienen Chromebooks. Okay. So, los estudiantes tienen Chromebooks. Y en estos días añadieron Zoom. Es la aplicación que estamos usando ahora. Y las familias a veces no tienen Wi-Fi o internet en la casa, pero el distrito sí, y otras organizaciones están, pueden proveer un hotspot and Wi-Fi. So sí tienen acceso, pero sí sé que cuando yo hablo personalmente con nuestras familias, tienen miedo. Una madre me mandó un mensaje y me dice, Eva, ¿puedo salir de mi casa? ¿Puedo ir al trabajo? Si me para la policía, ¿qué va a pasar? So it's really hard for me to respond to a question.
Website, copy, inclusion. Okay.
Yo les sugiero todo lo que tiene papeles o no tiene papeles. No hagas cosas para llamar la atención para que te vea la policía. ¿Verdad? Eso sí tiene papeles o no tiene papeles. Si el alcalde de Kansas City les dice que no debes salir de su casa nada más para comprar comida, ir al trabajo, deben ser las reglas, ¿verdad? Si vas a trabajar, la policía dice que no va a estar haciendo pero es difícil decir que si nuestras familias están afuera, le para la policía. Yo no sé cuál es el carácter de ese policía, no sé la situación. No hagas cosas para llamar la atención, especialmente ahora en nuestras comunidades en Kansas City. Porque sí. Go ahead.
No, a tener cuidado, ¿verdad? Sí, siempre tener cuidado y andar con cuidado, pero sí que también busquen oportunidades para conseguir los recursos que se le ofrecen a ustedes y a los estudiantes.
Bueno,
Porque,
una cosa para mencionarlo es que estoy de acuerdo. Y si es su situación donde no se siente a gusto saliendo de casa o manejando y no tiene licencia, por favor déjenos saber en el distrito. El distrito tiene distribución, tienen delivery. Y si es una situación en donde usted no puede salir de casa o está enfermo, por ejemplo, o sea, las personas enfermas tampoco no pueden estar ahorita, you know, so if you're sick, if you're not comfortable driving, if you don't have a license, let the district know, let someone know, let me know, let us know, and we'll get something arranged for you.
No pueden salir de la casa y necesitan comida, recursos, sí se puede. Le llevamos las cosas, le llevamos los recursos a su casa.
y para a todo el mundo que mira este video, nosotros vamos a dar información de Eva, de Susana, de los otros gente que ha asistido a este evento para que tengan ese contacto con ellas. Y estoy seguro que aquí hay otros distritos y otras escuelas representadas también. Así que nosotros podemos ayudar a ustedes a navegar el sistema y a tratar de ayudarle con conseguir los recursos que están ofreciendo los distritos escolares. Eva, what are you doing for fun these days?
So now I have a surprisingly large online following for yoga. So I am teaching yoga in my living room for my friends, for my family, for district staff, your students, and anybody who wants to join. Estoy haciendo clases de yoga por esta aplicación que se llama Zoom durante estas mañanas para los padres del distrito, estudiantes, empleados, la comunidad, mis amigas, mis amigos y mi familia.
That's the reality.
So I'm home, like a lot of us are, but I found a platform where we need some love, we need to do self-care, and we need to be careful of our emotions and our thoughts. And so if anybody who knows me, you know that I love the yoga. And so this is a very unexpected opportunity where I really share what I love with other people.
Oh,
So es muchas clases de yoga.
and instructor.
Hey, Edgar,
Yes,
you, Trisha.
we'll do. Actually, and we'll take this pause also. Trisha mentioned online, and I'm learning how to administrate Zoom, so my apologies to everybody. I just learned that I can see hands being raised, so this is exciting for me. So Trisha actually raised her hand, and she asked and commented on the fact that, have we discussed the use of WhatsApp and talking points? Are you familiar with those apps, Eva? And if not, we can also give Trisha maybe some space to talk a little bit about her experience.
I am familiar with it, but honestly, I do not use WhatsApp a lot.
I'm signed up to that.
Got it. Trisha, do you have any feedback or advice or suggestions on using those apps?
Sure. Hi, thanks for letting me chime in a little bit. I do know that a lot of our families use WhatsApp. It is a free texting and voice messaging app that's really popular all over the world, specifically in Mexico, but or that's where I had experience with it in. And you can do group chats as well. So if you are a teacher or a communicator or an educator that has small groups, you could make a group of your parents that are hard to reach via email, because you can use WhatsApp for free on your phone. So you don't need an email address, you don't need a Wi-Fi connection. Everyone uses it from their phone. That is if you can communicate in the language that your students speak in. Talking Points is the second app that Edgar mentioned that I wanted to bring up. It is a free app that does pretty decent, much better than Google Translate, translations for people that are trying to communicate with students and families that don't speak English as their first language. So we've tested it with quite a bit of our families with language services in Somali and Kiswahili and Spanish. So if you're an educator watching along and trying to get some tips on how to reach out to families and you don't speak the language that your students speak at home, definitely download and check out Talking Points, because it's free.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Trisha.
One more resource. It takes a little bit of time, and as far as you setting it up, but Class Tag is also another option where the family can choose what language they want to see the information in. And so I've found that all of my kids' languages are a part of the app. It's a website and an app. And so anytime there's a field trip or have an announcement, it's kind of like a Facebook for classrooms. And then the parents can choose what language they see the things in. So that's another option too. But Talking Points, I just heard about today, Trisha, and I'm really excited about it. I need to check that out.
I've definitely tested it with a lot of slang and colloquialisms, and they're pretty accurate. So I feel like at least give it a try and see how you like it.
Awesome. Thank you for that. So we have a couple of other resources in addition to Facebook. We have WhatsApp, we have Talking Points, and we have, did you say Class Tag? Fantastic. So Eva, a mí me encanta que estás comunicando con la comunidad sobre Facebook y que estás haciendo gran intento para hacerte disponible con nuestra comunidad y las familias y los padres. ¿Qué sugerencias tienes sobre cómo la comunidad, que no sea parte de los estudiantes o que no sea parte de los padres, pero cómo podemos ayudar, cómo te podemos ayudar a ti para continuar tu trabajo y continuar lo que estás tratando de hacer para las familias de los estudiantes de nuestro distrito?
Lo voy a decir en inglés porque lo digo mejor en inglés.
Okay, está bien.
Representation matters. It matters a lot. It matters so much, and it matters so much right now because I know that so many of our families are feeling isolated and everybody's feeling isolated. I feel isolated. But this representation matters because, and not just with KCPS, right? Just with many of our school districts that serve so many Latino families. Right? We need to be addressing their needs. We need to be addressing them what they are. So, lo digo en español, muchos de los distritos en la ciudad tenemos tantas familias latinas y comunidades latinas que necesitamos más representación en nuestros distritos escolares. You can support me by coming to my yoga classes online. You can support me by sharing my posts, okay? You can support me by once we get back into school, right?
That's an additional channel. So, like, the expectations
at the end of the day,
like, we're not doing a good job populating Facebook and Instagram as is. So, I just wanna, I mean,
Eva, can you repeat that one more time? I think we lost you.
somehow.
Representation matters so much.
I love that you
So
said
much.
that. You know, it gives us an.
I remember you saying that, and I was like, yeah, it matters. But now I feel it in my heart. It so matters because it's an equitable. We're trying to create equitable spaces, and we want our kids to thrive and succeed regardless of where they come from. It will be inequitable if we don't have that representation because we're not giving them the resources that we need. And we're all trying, and the district is doing such a beautiful job, and we're all doing a great job. We just need to step up. The community needs to step up. I need to step up, and we just need to be able to look at the big picture and bring everybody together. And I don't know if I said this, but I want to say it one more time, Edgar. Representation matters.
I so appreciate you saying that. As you know, the Latinx Education Collaborative, we are working on increasing representation of Latino education professionals in K-12, and because of the new environment that we find ourselves in, you know, we actually want to live our values and our mission in this new virtual space, right? And so we are adopting technologies that have existed for a little bit and just accommodating that. And so part of our way of working on representation is giving platforms and opportunities for folks like yourself, to step up and to kind of share your feedback and your advice and your expertise and help support you in those ways as well. So I appreciate you engaging with us, and I appreciate you always being so willing and so thoughtful in the way that you engage with the organization. But you're absolutely right. Representation matters, particularly during these times, because I think that we've all have seen how an unexpected event like coronavirus and COVID-19 actually highlights and exacerbates a lot of the inequities that we find in our system. And sometimes the best solutions come from teachers and educators who are proximate to the students in the communities that they serve. And so I 110% agree with you, and I will absolutely make sure to keep sharing information. I may even attend a yoga class online. I don't know if you want to see me doing warrior pose, but I can try. And I'm gonna just take a quick pause. I know we have a couple of folks online. We have Trisha, Maria, Jill, and I'm not sure if Betsaida is still with us or not. But anyway, do you have any questions, any comments on what you've heard from Eva, or any reinforcements?
So I just wanted to say that me working with Hispanic Development Fund, we're here to help out and whatnot. Still looking forward to a meeting to talking about how HDF as a whole can help out. But me personally, if you guys know if the district needs help, any of your districts need help, they need volunteers, just let me know where I can help out and I can be there of an assistance. I've been at home for most of this, so I know for a fact I'm not sick, and none of my family members are, but I want to be there and support because I know how stressful it could be for families, las familias que son bilingües, or familias que no hablan inglés y necesitan ese soporte en español. So I'm just here to help out wherever you guys need support.
Thanks, Maria.
Thank you for that, Maria. So Eva, as we near our time, we have 15 minutes left before we kind of, close up. Other than representation matters, other than let's take all the resources that we have access to, what do you see? What do you see changing, or what do you see staying from this time and from these new things? Like, what are some opportunities that you see because of the situation that we're in?
I definitely see that technology is an opportunity we've been missing out on. I see how teachers, classroom teachers, and maybe Susana, you could speak on this, classroom teachers are being forced into engaging via technology, and being accountable for reaching out to the parents or reaching out to the students, where I think you walk into a school, you're a teacher, and the kids come to your classroom, right? And now teachers have such great souls that they want to keep teaching, but those kids are not engaged because they're home and they're watching their shows and they're playing their video games. And now there's like this opportunity to really engage with students and parents. I know that it has challenged me, but I will tell you, I am busier now working because I'm doing so many things. Like I was like, what am I gonna find? How am I gonna fill my day? And my day is full, but only full because I am taking advantage of every social media platform, my phone, my email, my Facebook, and Zoom. And I think that when things go back to normal, I feel like we should still take advantage of these different platforms that we have, other than just talking to kids at school. So like I'm looking forward to engaging more parents and more students in the community while we're back in a physical school. But I now all of a sudden I have all these other resources where I can kind of tap into the school community.
Thank you for that. As always, Susana, I give the educator the last word on these things. So what questions, comments, concerns do you have for Eva?
Eva, listening to your talk and listening to the discussion that everyone has participated in really just reinforces for me that teaching is social justice work, right? Or education is social justice work. Not just in a way like, I have this resource, so let me give it. It's like, hey, I might be able to find the resource and then lead you there, right? Because we live in an underserved city. We live amongst underserved people. We live and teach and educate in underserved communities and for underserved people. And so please, teachers, educators, everyone who's on the call, thank you so much for all you do. For those of us who feel we could do a little bit more, please, feel free to do that now, because you hold the key to a lot of what others are suffering or struggling to get a hold of. give those resources openly, not in a savior complex, of course, just in a way of leading our community, being a village, be nice to each other. Let me know what I can do. Shout out to Eva for joining us today, and of course, everyone else.
Thank you.
Mic drop.
Before we wrap up, any of our guests, Maria, Jill, Trisha, do you have any other feedback, thoughts, something that we may have missed throughout this conversation?
Yeah, this is Trisha. If I could add really quickly, I think what I'm taking away from this is that all of our multilingual and bilingual students out there should look to the communicators and the educators and the people that are fixing this and realize what a huge strength it is, their bilingualism. When everything went wrong and we can't figure out how to reach families and we don't know how to communicate with students, who is it we are looking to? We are looking to you guys. We're looking to Eva, we're looking to Susana, we're looking to Edgar. So I really hope that especially our high school students who are really able to kind of take this in, that they're realizing that their strength is a resource, and when they start to apply for jobs, that their first question is, what is your bilingual pay differential? So I think long-term it will have an effect in changing how society treats our bilingual students and workers in the workforce.
I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing that. And you're absolutely right. You know, there's, in our community, sometimes there is the trauma of language, because particularly in the way that we as a community have tried to integrate. And so some of our parents told us only to speak English. Some of our parents were like, no, you got to learn both. And so we do have that divide. But I think it's always important to remember that being bilingual, trilingual, a polyglot, so to speak, it's actually incredible and valuable. And as we realize that the world is global, and I think that, you know, if anything, this pandemic virus has reinforced, or crisis, I should say, has reinforced the fact that things that happen in China affect us here in Kansas City. And so the ability to communicate and be in community with folks that are not just here, but across the globe is an important skill set. So thank you for highlighting that and bringing that to space.
Hey, Edgar.
Yes.
Can you give a shout out to Vanya?
Oh, of course. You know, I appreciate that too. If you can see behind Eva, there is a phenomenal piece. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that? I know the artist is the incredible Vanya Soto, but tell us a little bit about that piece in itself, Eva.
I have been friends with Vanya for like 20 years since I got to Kansas City. And I have Vanya t-shirts. I have Vanya originals. I have Vanya postcards. And I bought like 5 t-shirts that have that print. And I would give them out as incentives to high schools. So there's a bunch of high school girls walking around with Vanya Soto original t-shirts. I love it. I bought that at one of her art shows, and yeah, I love it. It brightens up my whole space.
You know, and I appreciate that, because you talked about representation matters, and something that we'll have a conversation here in the near future is about representation in the arts as well. And Vanya does a terrific job of not only being an artist, but being an advocate for representation in the arts. And so thank you for creating this space for us to honor her and bring her into this space through her artwork. Eva, we have about 7 minutes left, maybe a little bit less if you're getting a little tired. Maybe you want to go into new, I don't know what the pause is in yoga. I think it's called Sana something or other. There it is. Final thoughts from the incomparable. Is that right? Is that a good word? Maybe I'll work on my vocabulary, but incorrigible Eva Santiago.
I feel like I am so super grateful to have you and Susana and Maria and Trisha, and like, we need to step up and support each other, and we need to have the voice and fight for the communities that feel like they don't have a voice. This is so beautiful that we can be in a space together. I will tell, and I don't know, right, because I'm not everywhere. I'm pretty sure there are other school districts that have a high Latino population not having this conversation. They're just, okay, hope you're doing okay. And, you know, and everybody's kind of fending for themselves, but I think that their voices need to be elevated. And I'm so super grateful for the Latinx Education Collaborative to put it out there and be visible on social media. And, you know, just, it matters so much that we have representation where the decisions are being made.
That's a powerful note to end on, Eva. So thank you so much for sharing your expertise. Thank you to our guests that have joined us, and not just through our Zoom feature, but also on Facebook. We're going to be tagging all of you on there just as an FYI. That way you can get this information out to the communities that need them the most. But Eva, thank you so much for being who you are and continuing to press forward in a time of instability and uncertainty. But you are a light in our community, and so I appreciate you so much. Having said that, to everybody watching on Facebook, thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to go ahead and stop our live stream, and then we'll have like a follow-up debrief conversation that we'll have internally. So, all right, thank you so much, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, Eva. Thank you so much, Maria. Thank you so much for being here. Eva, what are your thoughts? You killed it. You're made for this world, this virtual reality world.
Vote for me when I start campaigning.
Hey. As you know, only 1% of elected officials identify as Latino. So
No, I know. No, it was good. Thank you so much for having this. It was good. I think more of these conversations need to be had. And I think that people want to have these conversations. There just isn't this platform for it. Yeah.
Well, thanks for being a guinea pig with us and being a part of this. I'm going to make sure to start working on the tagging and everything. You're cool with me tagging KCPS on this, right?
Yes. Hell yes.
Susana, I should check in with you too. You're cool with me tagging KCPS on this, right?
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, y'all. Well, cool. I will be in touch, and I'll see you at a yoga thing soon.
Yes. Tomorrow at 8 if you're interested.
You know what? I may just wake up and just join you for I'll just drink coffee while everybody else is in like their poses.
You can just watch and like see the poses. You can blank yourself. You can black yourself out.
Está bueno. All right. Appreciate you. Love you.
Bye, guys.
Talk to y'all soon.
Bye. See ya. Bye.